Hi gents, I just want to make a wee video tonight because I did something that I thought I'd share with the groups. This is my everything power supply. It literally was being used for everything. You can see a Barcrest MPU4 connector, MPU3 connector, whatever. But it's getting a bit nasty looking and there's cut wires everywhere and it's a little bit dicey to run. It's shorted out a couple of times and I've cut wires off it and reattached wires and God knows what. So I thought it's time to improve something now. You can see I've got a M1A board set up here, but I do repairs just as a hobby and I repair lots of different things, so I didn't want to have lots of different power supplies stored away to power all these different boards. So that was the reason for this. But I wanted to make something a bit more professional looking, so say hello to Everything Power Supply 2.0. I had this lying about. It's just a 650 watt modular power supply. I don't have the modular cables for it, but never mind. And I got one of these ATX breakout boards, which is just basically, it takes the ATX power supply in and it gives you lots of Molex connectors, lots of Molex outputs. And as you can see, what I've done here is I've made a M1A adapter. Now the reason I did this is because it's all very well using a power supply to provide the 5 volts and everything, but I wanted the 12 volt functionality as well so I could fully test the board. And I wanted it to be switched so that the 12 volt was not there if the board didn't boot, so that I couldn't accidentally short anything out, because there's 12 volt flying around the switch circuit and various other areas of the board. So this M1A power supply board here was never going to work on a M1A machine again, because there's broken pads at the capacitors, and this one, the pads are totally gone, but I just filled it in with a bit of wire. And what I did was I bypassed the 5 volt bridge rectifier here, and if you look carefully, I bypassed the regulator, so the 5 volt just passes straight through. And for the 12 volt lines, the V-Sense line comes off of here and it just passes through a couple of dials into the board. It's not even the right dial, I think I put a Schottky dial or something, but it does the purpose. And then the main 12 volt for the reels, it passes through the capacitor and whatever and then out to the board. But through the relay, and then the board can use the line into the power supply board as normal to switch the relay, which is good. It means it works the way it's supposed to. Now, I tried this before a few years ago and I gave up because I couldn't get a board to start. And this is before I did a bit more research on why I couldn't get the board to start. But I'll show you, I've got it set up. Ignore this clip lead for the minute. Assume that it's not connected to the other end, so assume that clip lead is not there. I've got the board set up as I had it before. And I'll just switch this on. It's handy this because it's got a little voltmeter in the middle. And that's what we get. And that's what I got about 4 or 5 years ago. The board doesn't start. You can use a test ROM. Again, this is about 10-year-old as well. Could do with updating this. I don't know if I can maybe get someone to make just a short little one with just the ROM on it. Yeah, it serves its purpose. The test ROM will run and you'll get the walking lights, but you try and fire up a board as normal. Nothing happens. It does boot, it has started the 12 volt and it is out of reset, but it doesn't start. Now, I figured out a workaround. I'll turn this back off. And if I connect, workaround, not walkaround, sorry. If I connect to, is that the cathode side of D22? Hold on a minute. Hard to do this one-handed, the clip was a little bit dicey. That'll do it. Right, make sure that one's on there. Right, let's try again. Now watch. Good, eh? Now Q1's still out, so to do this, you probably have to remove Q1. What I've did here is I removed Q2 and left the leg in, and then I've taken a clip lead from the cathode side of D22, which is the blocking diode for the test switch, and fed it up into the emitter pin of Q2. And what that does is it's providing the NMI line for the processor. The way it would normally work is you've got a pulsing DC signal comes in for your power supply. It's called the 12V unregulated line. It comes off the AC winding in the power supply, fed through a diode here, into here, through a resistor, and then the pulsing signal that comes out of the transistor feeds a logic gate, and that feeds the NMI pin of the processor, the 6809. When you just try and power that off a PC power supply or whatever, that 12 volt pulsing signal isn't there. So you have to give it a little help. But it does work. $40 credits. And it looks like it's running appropriately. Energies. I really should figure out what line's what. Yeah, into gladiators. Not got the sound on at the minute, but don't worry. Don't worry about that either. That's got a mind of its own. I tried sticking it with double-sided tape, but it's too heavy. So I'm going to glue that on tomorrow. But it doesn't affect it. Let me just turn this off now. Doesn't affect it, we'll just stick it back. I'll stick it down somehow. It's basically what I want is I want that to be there. And I want that just to always be there. Maybe a big tie wrap or something. Maybe a big tie wrap. That may be a better idea. And what I intend to do is just make connectors for MPU4 or Impact or whatever, and just plug them into the Molex connectors. And then rather than having a huge big wardrobe full of power supplies for various things, I've just got a little box full of connectors to go to whatever I need. So I just thought I would pass that on to the lads and ladies. Can you tell it's for Ben? They're always for Ben. No, only kidding. It is for Ben, but I do make it for really a few folks that drop the board off from time to time. I can't always get them back as quick as I like. I do apologise for that, but I do get them back. So I just thought I'd share that with the group, and if you like the video, give me a comment. But hopefully I'll be able to get the sound and everything up, and I'll get a Q1 in, and it's just a ZTX 550, and we'll prove this properly in the morning. But in the meantime, bye bye for now.